Alright, what's up people? This is Kevin, also known as the Real Superman 217. Well, I'm almost done building my 3D printer. I got the hot end attached. I also put the auto leveler on it, but I don't think I'm going to use it, but I am going to hook it up just in case I do have to use it. The slides that I'm using came from a friend of mine named Jay. You find him. I can't pronounce his last name right, so I'm not going to try to butcher it. So what I'm going to do now is I've watched a few different videos on 3 or 4 different people, and they all had great ideas about how to do the bed leveling. Jay's was in great detail, and it helped out a lot. I think it's electronics or some other guy video I watched a few different times, and the third guy, I can't remember his name. Sorry, dude. If I remember it, I'll put it in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do it fast, and I feel like I'm confident that I can do the auto bed leveling now that I got all the movements and stuff set up and I got my hot end. The hot end I got is the J head. I got the 0.4. I know everybody say, hey, get the 0.5, but hey, I like a challenge, and I wanted the 0.4. When I set out to build this thing, I wanted to use the 0.4. All right, so one thing that I noticed that a lot of people are having issues with is the edge of their Delta printer being either high or low, while the center is either concave or going up. So that lens effect. So I think Jay described the best to me one way of getting that out of there. He said that, if your horizontal delta, a horizontal radius, which is also your delta radius, depending on which firmware you're using or software you're using. I'm going to be using Repetier. Matter of fact, let me open it up. I'm going to be using Repetier host, and I'm using Repetier software. So just to let people know, it took me a minute to figure it out as well. Your horizontal radius and your delta radius is both the same. Now I'm using version 0.95F of Repetier host stuff, and the firmware I think is either 9.1 or maybe it's 9.5. Needless to anyway. So what he said, that if that radius is too big, then the nozzle will never reach the bed before you hit Z0. So if the number is too big in the center, you will have that bubble effect. That means that at 0, you'll be above the bed. And on the ends is where people have the problem. They're touching the bed already, and they can never get that leveled out. If it's too small, then your Z-axis will reach the bed before 0 or at 0. And then that means that your ends will be up. So that give you that concave look. So my thing is, all right, what I'm going to try to do is make sure that I get my delta radius set right first. Now, I'm going to do it a little weird kind of way. What I'm going to do is inside of here, as you can see, look on the screen, the G code editor, normally you have it set to G code. Well, down here you have these different scripts that you can set up. So based off of what Jay was saying, and I did my math, our costs are similar. So I'm going to give the code G1, which tells it to move, and I'm going to go to minus X69. This is for my X tower. So that's my X tower adjustment. And this is going to drop it right in front of the X tower, 10 millimeters above the Z axis. And then script 2 is the Y tower. And then script 3 is my Z tower, which is the back tower on your 3D printer. Now script 4, I have that set for straight center. So that's going to be great. Boots just laid on the floor right where I need to be. I guess he's being nosy. That's going to be right in the center, 10 millimeters off the bed is what it is. Now the cool thing about that is you don't have to type those in. You can, if you look right, what is it here? It tells you Control Alt 1, 2, 3, 4 will automatically move it. So now I don't have to keep coming back up here and moving over to that. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is connect. All right, now I'm connected to the printer. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go straight to the center of the bed, because I want to know if my delta radius or horizontal radius is set correctly. So Control Alt 4. I guess I home first. All right, home. All right, now Control Alt 4. And if you've seen the video, it just dropped down. Don't mind the wires. I haven't connected everything. Don't miss that, buddy. Leave it alone, Boots. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, here comes the really unorthodox part. I'm going to use, don't push on the box, buddy. Don't go in there. No. Come here. Get up here. Good boy. Sit right there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, wow, that says 10 mils off. First off, that's way more than 10. So since I know that that's way more than 10, all right, my box is going to shake with the camera booster clamped inside a thing with my tripod on it. Okay, so all right, that's more than 10, so I'm just going to drop it to 0. All right, and that still looks like more than 10. Yeah, little mini playing cards. I'm going to take the entire deck. That's your little buddy. All right, so with the entire deck, all 52 little cards, I know everybody's probably freaking out like, what the hell is he doing? Well, watch, it'll make sense in a second. All right, I don't know if you can see that in the video, but that barely touched in the center. So now I'm gonna go to my X tower. And wow, that's high. So I'm gonna drop that sucker right down to 10, because I know. And then the cards should barely touch if my delta angle is correct. It's my easy way of trying to figure out without having to touch the glass if I'm too high, too low. I just want to get that close. And wow, that's way too high. It's like another 4 or 5 millimeters off. Okay, so that means that when I took my measurements, I'm gonna take it centered, take it back home. When I took my measurements, that means I was off. So that means that the center is touching. Let's see, that means it's too big. The nozzle reached the bed before 0, so it's lower than the end. So I'm gonna go to my configuration, go to my prompt, and I'm gonna get really aggressive with that. All right, so I'm at 115. I took the measurements. You can look and find out the picture where to measure. It's from this. If you look at your rods, it's from the center of your rod on one of your arms to the center of the rod on your effector. That's where you take this measurement from. All right, so, and it's kind of hard to measure. So I'm going to go a little aggressive and take it. I'm going to drop it 10. So I'm going to go to 105. I know, crazy. Let's just do it. All right, so delta rate, horizontal radius, delta radius, same thing, 105. Now I'm going to home the printer again. Don't forget to click OK. Home the printer again. And I'm going back to center. And I know I'm high, so I know I don't have my Z height set correctly, so I'm going to drop it 10, so I'm good with that. All right, so now I'm going to take my deck of cards again. And I'm going to slide them in. All right, and it's barely touching again. So that looks pretty cool. All right, let's move it to the X tower. That looks lower. Drop it. And let's slide these under there. It was way above. Let's hit that, drop it. Aha! Look at that. Now it's barely touching. Got a little bit of space. I think I'm gonna change it one more time. Just a little bit. Let's go crazy here. Let's just use the force. I'm gonna go 105.2. Yeah, I know. Whatever. Alright, so I'm gonna home it. Drop it back down to Z. I know I'm only doing one tower. Well, let's go to the tower 2 just to be honest. Screw it back to center. I want to make sure that's good. Drop the Z down. Alright, so I'm at perfect 10, supposedly, which is way high. I know it. Fits in there. Barely feel a drag on here. Alright, we'll go to tower 2. Y tower. I see tower too because I got a program on here. So go to the Y tower, dropping it down. Let's test it with the cards again. Ooh, ooh. Barely dragging, feel just like Y did. I mean Z did, and kind of like what X felt like. Let's go make sure X still the same. Dropping down to X. Okay, putting it in there. I feel it touching. Hey, screw it, we're on a roll. Let's go to the Z tower. Dropping that down. Alright, so that's 10 and I'm way up. Alright, so that's barely touching. Okay, so that felt pretty good. Now the problem is I'm all the way down, but I'm not really all the way down. I'm weird. I take a lot of measurements. I set my console to, like everybody said in everybody's video, it's best to shorten your Z length in order not to hit and break your glass. So what I'm going to do is I did what they said, and I only went to 240. I figured it was going to be higher, but I went there. So that's cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a measurement because I feel like I'm off a little. So if I'm at 240, I'm still looking like about 10 or 12 above the bed. So I'm going to take my calipers, I'm going to measure it, and then I'm going to go back and see where it's set to. Alright, so I know, well, I'm going to try to take my calipers, see where it's set to. Alright, so let's see, we'll do it like this. Push it till it goes down. Alright, that's about the number 12. Alright, that's about another 12 millimeters or so. I know. But I took measurements using, used my tape measure. And what I ended up doing was I measured from here, like this, to the base it is. And that's how I set my end stops on all of my endpoints. And they look like they're within half a mil or less of each other. So that I'm hoping that that's going to work out great. All right, so let's set my Z length and pray that I get it right. So EEPROM max Z, I got it 240. I said about 12, so let's go 252. That should be pretty close. I'm gonna say okay. Then I'm gonna click home. All right, straight down, go straight to the center. All right, so 10 millimeters, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. That looks about like 3. Looks about like 3. 2, 1. See what we got. Piece of paper. 1, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hear it. 0. Barely touching it. Barely. Alright, so it's barely touching. So I'm going to say 2. It's about 2 millimeters off. So, what point? 0.2. Alright, so I'm going to say 0.2 times 100 steps. That's going to give me 20. If I use the offset R, I can just go 252.2 for my max Z length. Say 0. Go to home. You know what? I think I'm going to go 0.4. Reason being is my nozzle's a 0.4 and it seems like a good number to go with. So, where is it? Right there. 252.4. We'll just do that. See how good I get. Alright, let's home it again. Alright, and straight to center. All right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Wow, that looks better. 2, 1. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I feel it barely touching. 1, little more. Hey, there we go. Pinch. Good to go. All right, let's go to the X tower. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Looks like 3, 2, 1. Get the paper under there. Nothing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I feel it dragging pretty good. 1. Pin. Not too tight, but tight enough. Alright. X Y tower now. Alright. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. That looks good. Like 3, 2, 1. Still above. Alright. Got a little wiggle going on. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can feel it touching a little bit. And 0. Sweet. That works for me. Alright. And Z tower. The Z axis. Yeah, the cable's flopping around over. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It looks about like 3, 2, 1. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I feel a little drag. 0. Pent pretty good. Alright. So, check the center one more time. I didn't adjust anything, but hey, might well give it a shot. So, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Not dragging. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touching. Pent. Oh, that's good to go right there. Alright. So, as you can see, it appears that my bed is level. So what I'm going to do now is write these numbers down. I'm going to make changes. So my horizontal delta, or my delta radius, whatever you want to say, is going to be 252.4. And my, no, I take that back. Horizontal radius is going to be 105.2. Sorry about that. And my max Z length is going to be 252.4. So that horizontal radius giving me a perfectly or really close to level bed. I might be off by 0.0 something or whatever, but if the tension is really close on all 4 axes I just checked, on all, well, 3 axes and the center, and then the max length, the height is really great because it bites in the center very well. So what I'm going to do now is open up my Arduino software, locate max Z length, and I'm going to put that in there and save it with my horizontal delta, horizontal radius, or horizontal delta radius, whatever you want to call it. And then we should be good to go. We should be level. All right. Hope this helps out. Peace. Oh, guess I better send it back home. Love that.